Now, every year we look forward to spring in China because it means one thing: new season teas. And there's a short period at the beginning of the season, lasting approximately a month or so, where what's said to be the freshest and greatest green teas are picked and processed. These teas are known as Pre-Qingming teas or Mingqian cha. Now, I've got a confession to make. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of green teas. I mean, it's not that I hate or dislike them as such, like they're perfectly fine and I can drink a bucket load of them. It's just that as a tea category, I don't find it particularly exciting flavor-wise, especially when compared to oolongs or pu'er teas. With all that being said, I'm completely open to having my mind changed about green tea. And in an attempt to do so, for one of our Tea Discovery Club boxes, we decided to source a super fresh, hot off the press, Pre-Qingming Green Tea to see what all the fuss is about. Mengding Ganlu is a green tea from Mengshan in Sichuan. The Mengshan is reputed to be the place where tea was first cultivated, and while it's often overshadowed by other famous green teas such as Longjing or Huangshan Maofeng, Mengding Ganlu is in fact the oldest of the famous teas in China and is also revered as an ancient tea. But that's not why this tea is special. So what we have here is a Pre-Qingming Mengding Ganlu. So the keyword being Pre-Qingming. So what does that mean exactly? The Qingming Festival is an important day in the Chinese calendar. Also known as Chinese Memorial Day, it's a day where families honor and commemorate their ancestors and generations past, and it falls on the 15th day after the March equinox. So typically sometime between April 4 to 6. So Mingqian or Pre-Qingming teas are therefore green teas made from young buds and leaves that have been picked and processed before this date. So the yields of Mingqian tea are very limited due to the very short harvest period, and with the period only lasting around about a month or so, beginning early March. So the leaves for this Mengding Ganlu were picked on the 9th of March. Grown at an altitude of approximately 1200 meters above sea level, and the picking standard for the tea is one bud and one leaf that is just about to unfold. So they say that in order to fully enjoy high-grade Pre-Qingming green teas, it needs to be drunk within 3 months of when the tea was produced. So today, this video, I'm filming it on May 29th, and the tea was produced, or at least it was picked on March the 9th, meaning I'm still within that 3-month period. So I now get to try this tea while it's still at its peak. Starting with 5 grams of tea, water temperature at 80 degrees Celsius, pour in 200 milliliters of water, and watch the leaves dance and flutter and float for 2 minutes. So I'm not brewing the tea Kung Fu style for a few reasons. The first, the leaves aren't sort of tightly twisted or compressed, so there's no real need for a rinse. And also, I wanted to make sure to try and keep as much of the fresh flavors intact as possible. And the second reason, and this is a purely aesthetic one, is that in brewing tea this way, I can calmly watch the leaves kind of float around and flutter. I mean, look at that, isn't that pretty? And this is also why I like using glass teaware to brew green teas, because you can sort of watch the leaves, just calmly watch the leaves sort of float around and flutter around. That is a very nice, very fresh tasting green tea. It's very soft and smooth, very nice thick kind of mouthfeel as well. There is that sort of grassy flavor. Obviously it's a green tea, so there is a bit of a grassy note, and that sort of combination of grassy and nutty that you get with a lot of Chinese green teas, that's here, but it's also very sweet. Like, normally you would probably associate green tea with bitterness and astringency, but this one is not like that. This one is it's actually quite sweet. It has a very light, sort of nice sugarcane like sweetness to it as well. So it's kind of grassy, nutty, that sugarcane sweetness, and that sort of thick, sort of almost oily sort of mouthfeel, which makes it a very satisfying tea to drink. Like that is, as you know, if you've watched any of our videos before, that's something that I always go on about, is the mouthfeel, the texture, the aftertaste, and yeah, the flavor of this, that sort of lovely sweet kind of grassiness, that fresh grassiness, it's lingering, and that flavor lasts quite a bit, which is great. That's the sign of a great green tea, or great tea in general. But what I'm particularly enjoying about this tea as I'm drinking it is it's not like a punchy, super strong green tea sort of flavor. No, it's actually quite light. It's quite delicate. But what makes it impressive is that mouthfeel, that texture, that aftertaste. That's what separates this from like standard cheaper green teas. And as I go on about, I guess it applies to green tea as much as it does in any other tea as well. Like the texture, the aftertaste, the mouthfeel, that is just as important, if not more important, than the flavor itself. Like whether the flavor itself is complex or enjoyable or not, like that's important. Obviously, you're drinking tea for flavor, but it's that texture, that aftertaste, that to me is a sign. That's a key thing that you need to look for when you're kind of looking, like when you're tasting or evaluating high grade teas, and green tea is no exception. So when the new tea season starts, you'll often see vendors and producers go on about pre-Qingming teas, about getting it, drinking it, enjoying it, etc. It's generally much more expensive than your regular season green teas, and it's likely that they don't even get a chance to try it before getting their hands on it, or before buying it, because the timeline for sort of harvest, production, and then enjoying the tea while it's still at its peak, it's so short, and it's in such high demand. It's very limited quantities, etc. And so the question I'm sure all of you are thinking or wondering is that all worth it? Is the extra price, is the jump in price worth it? Or is the effort worth it? Or the uncertainty? Is it all worth it to get your hands on some pre-Qingming green teas? Is pre-Qingming green teas really that much better than regular season green teas? That's kind of hard for me to tell at this stage, because I'm not comparing this tea to the same tea that's been harvested at a different time. However, as a unique overall tea experience, that's a different story. Since the pre-Qingming period is so short, and the green tea has such a short period of time in which it remains at its peak, one only has a really very brief and fleeting moment in which to enjoy all of these elements coming together. So I guess think of it like, and I guess this might sound completely unrelated, but bear with me. Have you ever been to Japan during Hanami, or the cherry blossom viewing festival? This is where people across Japan gather in parks at the beginning of spring to watch the cherry blossoms bloom and flower. And it's an event that happens every year and lasts only about a week before the flowers wilt, shed, and disappear from the trees for another year. So the purpose of it, it's kind of a way to celebrate the arrival of spring, and also to appreciate the transient beauty of nature and the changing of the seasons. So the drinking of pre-Qingming green tea is kind of like that. It's an annual event that happens in the tea calendar, and you only have a relatively short period of time in which to acquire the tea and then enjoy it at its peak before it begins to slowly fade. The transient nature of green tea, I suppose. And if you extrapolate that and have it as being, like a kind of metaphor for life. Like it's a reminder that all good things do come to an end, so enjoy it at their peak while you can. So I used to think and wonder why anyone would want to spend all that money on high grade or Pre-Qingming green teas when you only have about 3 months or so to enjoy it at its best. I mean, this is why I always thought that pu'er teas were much better value, because you can buy a bunch of it, you can age them, keep them around for years, decades. But in working through this video, it kind of dawned on me, like what if this transient nature of Pre-Qingming green teas, like what if it's because of that reason that makes it so valuable? Like it's not something that you can postpone or keep at the back of your cupboard to enjoy at a later date, whenever you please. Like the moment to enjoy the tea at its peak is now. It's a short period of time, it's a rare moment, comes around quickly every year, and if you sit on it and wait, that moment will be lost. So if you consider, I guess, you take that into account and consider Pre-Qingming teas in that sense, then yeah, the experience, or that overall experience, it's worth it. I mean, would I partake in it every year? Probably not, but every now and then it might serve as a good reminder to enjoy and appreciate good things while we can. Anyway, that's the end of our video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. So have you tried Pre-Qingming green teas before? What did you think? Did you think it was worth it? Was it worth the hype, or is it all just a bit of marketing fluff? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.